Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Today, I would like to convey my speech on global warming. Before that, do you guys know about global warming?
No.
Yeah, there are several environmental issues increasing as the impact of global warming. Our daily activities are responsible for the increasing temperature of the earth. There are many factors which cause global warming. However, the main cause are known as the greenhouse effect. Greenhouse effect is caused by the greenhouse gases carbon dioxide, chlorofluorocarbon, methane, nitrous oxides, and our daily activities are generating the greenhouse effect. Those greenhouse effects are being collected in the atmosphere, that it forms a cover for Earth, which is absorb the sun rays. The absorbed heat remains in the lower circle of the biosphere, so it increases the temperature level. The more greenhouse gases trapped in the atmosphere, the more heat gets trapped. The glaciers are melting, sea levels are rising, cloud forests are dying, and wildlife is scrambled to keep pace. Global warming is not only harmful for humans, but also for flora and fauna. Global warming causes acid rain, which is very destructive, burn the forest alive, and it wipes out the whole forest and its livelihood. Meanwhile, the temperature rise affects agricultural crops, forests, marine life, and any others. My friends, global warming is a huge and global problem. It cannot be solved by several groups or countries. The global efforts are very needed to reduce the global warming effects. As we know, there are three specific ways to lessen the global warming effects. Those efforts are called 3R. 3R means reduce, reuse, and the last one is recycle. Reduce rivers to the waste as a smart generation, we should lessen the usage of plastic, styrofoam, and any other industrial packaging because it donates into greenhouse effect. The second one is reuse. We can change our habit positively by causing the reusable products instead of the disposable ones. The last one is recycle, which means that we need to recycle things that are recyclable, such as newspaper, glasses, aluminum cans, and the experts thought that we can save approximately 2,040 pounds of carbon dioxide emission every year if we start to recycle half of the household waste. My dear friends, eliminate the global warming effect may seem impossible, but if we do it together, I'm sure that global warming will not in global. As we have learned so much that global warming is a serious matter and it's threatening the human race. Let us save the world from more greenhouse gases. Do it now and do it from small things such as implementing the 3R way of life. Save the electricity by turning the light off while sleeping. Turn on the air conditioner wisely and try to lessen the harmful gases emissions. The way to lessen the harmful gas emission can be done by minimizing driving a car, riding motorcycle, or any other transportation means. By listening the frequency rate transportation means we can save the world and we can be healthy too. There are small things we make a big better matter if we do it together. That is all from me. Thank you for attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Fiqi Zidan. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you, and thank you for coming today. Now I am standing in front of you for trying one big issue that becomes serious threat for youth in Indonesia. which is the danger of drugs for university students. It is not new that the use of addictive drugs is a serious fact that we need to face comprehensively. Based on National Anti-Narcotics Agency, 27% of all drugs users comes from university students. There are so many kinds of drugs, the approach as well. Actually, if you are talking about the danger of drugs, I'm sure that you understand about that. The same thing applies to the consequences from misuse of drugs. Everyone must know the truth. But as we know, the drugs consumption rate within university students is still high. How could this happen? In recent years, Indonesia is one of potential markets for the distribution of drugs. Since long time ago, Indonesia has been the place for transit and destination of drug supply. Dear students, it is not a secret that Indonesia now is in the emergency of drug usage. What makes this more miserable? This condition involves those in age of 24 until 30 years old. Youth is the most vulnerable generation to be involved in drug circle. What is the reason? Within the age of 24 until 30 years old is the time to seek self-actualization. The curiosity is elevated in their soul. The age is still unstable and easy to be influenced. Nowadays, the volume of new drugs is another factor that triggers the massive distribution of drugs. Within the age of university students, the chance of doing social interaction with those who are involved in drugs world is big. The supplier will justify all means to approach youth and slowly brainwash and enclosure about drugs. Within this vulnerable age, they want to try new things that can easily bring them to the dark circle of drugs. Moreover, university students is the passion of having their responsibility without other authority. Danger of drugs don't stop here. Once you are involved in the misuse of drugs, you will face the shortcoming from small things. You want to concentrate in studying and learning. This will also affect to your financial situation because it's not cheap to access drugs. Most important and precious thing in this life is health. Once you are dragged in circle of drugs, there are so many negative impacts toward health. There are so many proofs that drugs will disrupt youth, death, and its words. Dear students that I am proud of, the chance to study in university is not coming twice. When you are already at college institution, never once tempted to try the drugs. Don't waste your future for temporary pleasure. Guard yourself with positive activity to prevent from trying drugs. There is no such thing as just trying because the addictive content of drugs will make someone ask for more with higher dosage. For those who ever involved in drugs, come to us, fill your day with positive activity so that you want to be tempted to go back in the illegal drug circle. Keep guarding yourself and be a productive student. Thanks for attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Gilang from Political Science class A. Let me give a speech about the environment so that we can read many lessons. As we know, the environmental conditions that we live today are very different from the environment several decades ago. In the past, we could easily find trees. Now the land contained plant has been replaced with housing. Environmental problems are not only limited to plants. If we are sensitive, many fauna or animals lose their habitat. Humans change their place of residence so that animals have difficult getting a place to live again. Not infrequently, animals that cannot get a house will attack humans in order to get food. Therefore, we should start from ourselves to foster a sense of love for the environment. Use methods that are easy and simple. For example, by throwing garbage in its place, not using plastic when shopping, and saving on water use. So my speech about environment from me. Let's take care of environment together. Terima kasih. Thank you. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Rizal Fauzi. I'm here. I want to talk about RUU KUHP Foreign Tourist Cancel to Bali. Okay. Have you ever met free sex?
Yes. Of course.
Free sex is certainly very important to know, so that no one can fool you. Well, here I will explain the problem in Indonesia recently about the RUU KUHP about in Bali. Okay, this time the DPR RI has postponed the ratification of the revision of the Criminal Code or RUU KUHP. But the big effect of the legal problem has a long impact. Head of Bali Tourist Office Putu Astawa worried about the polemic of the criminal code bill used by Bali competitors to seize the foreign tourist market. This problem making tourists restless and going on vacation in Bali. The article extends the meaning of adultery. Article paragraph 1 reads: everyone has intercourse with a person who is not a husband or is convicted of 1 year or a category to fine. This is considered to have an impact on Indonesian tourists, especially in Bali, which is visited by many foreign tourists because foreign tourists are dominated by young people who are not even bound by marital status and spend the night. In my opinion, this law has a point because in religion, I am taught or explain that anyone who commits adultery outside marriage of the marital status, that person has committed a very less sin. I know that abroad there are many people like that. People who have sexual relation outside of marriage are usually found abroad. These are considered to have an impact on tourism in Bali, especially in Bali, which is visited by many foreign tourists. There are many people like that. People who have sexual relation or free sex outside of marriage are usually found abroad, which has become a common thing in the eyes of the people. Thanks for attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Morning everyone.
Morning.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Zakiah Wanda Nurfahmi and I'm from English class A. Okay? First of all, alhamdulillah, thank you for your attention. Here, I will talk about leaders. When we talk about leaders, what first comes into your mind?
Strong.
Yeah, that's true. True. One of them is stronger or power. Someone who is considered strong is often trusted to be a leader. But strength alone is not enough to make someone to be a leader. In my opinion, a leader is someone who can make a big impact to everyone, to many people. When we can make everyone agree with our way, so we can get their trust. And when many people have trust to us, we also can control them. A leader is someone who has to be an example for their followers. And actually, a leader is someone who has to be a perfect, but a leader is a human. That human is imperfect. Leadership. Leadership is not an easy task. It is not for cowards. They exclude a lot of people. Leadership that impact is about having a vision. It is about seeing far ahead. It is about anticipating the change that can come in one's file of work. It is about getting others equipped and ready to meet the future. Leadership that impact is about communication. It is about communicating with simplicity, clarity, purpose, and impact. A good measure of success in leadership is determined by the way you are able to handle public speaking. Charisma, conviction, that is important. Competence and credibility go a long way in persuading people to follow your vision. Leadership that impacts is about decisive decision making. It is important too. A leader is fully aware that all decisions have consequences. So we have to aware them about the consequence, that he or she is prepared to gather relevant information, getting inputs from all around 360 degrees, weigh the possible ramification of the decision, and go ahead with firmness, resolve, and unwavering determination with his or her decision. And then the next, leadership that impacts is about earning respect, commitment, and loyalty from team, group, or followers. This doesn't happen by change. It is the character to a leader that inspires all this. And the next, leadership that impacts is about managing power and visibility. But power and visibility can easily corrupt a leader. Often a leader is heading for trouble as he surrounds himself with personal favorites who advise him on all matters. The more he relies on these people who might have their own personal agendas, the more he alienates himself from the rank and file. And for the end, leadership that impact is about calmness. A leader is not characterized by turbulence, but by the quiet stillness found in the eye of a tornado. He should be able to inspire hope in followers by his fortitude during challenging times. And this is a simple cue for me. So guys, be brave. No matter what gender, everyone can be a leader. Thank you for your attention.